thought that the Red Pepper would never have closed. Because it was a closet newspaper for many men reading Red Pepper.
Reading.
Not me.
Women are like.
Yeah. They fold it in Daily Monitor.
My father used to buy all copies of newspapers, but for one or the other reason, he would go with his Red Pepper in his bedroom. So
maybe that's why it was needed.
So I don't know whether he didn't want me to read all the content. But yeah, the CEO of CNN announcing a layoff of about 210 workers in the coming few months.
And yet the Times is recruiting.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that points to the number of layoffs we've seen across board in the media spaces in Uganda, but also closure of very key media houses. It's not just an isolation of NMG in terms of changes. Probably this change, like my boss said, has been pre-planned. It had been planned for over time. I get to hear many conversations in the corridors. Not that I sit in strategic meetings at Monitor, but the struggle is real in terms of the shifting numbers, the shifting manner in which media is consumed. You look at Daily Monitor in the early 2000s. About 2014, 2015, selling about 29,000 copies a day. Maybe New Vision was a little bit higher, with around 35,000 a day. And these numbers have been dwindling over time. Now that you see that you'll struggle to make 10,000 or even copies. Yeah,
in Uganda.
You struggle to make those.
10,000.
And it's about the manner in which people are consuming the news. Like many have agreed that
at some point you would have thought that the Red Pepper would never have closed. Because it was a closet newspaper for many men reading Red Pepper.
Reading.
Not me.
Women are like.
Yeah. They fold it in Daily Monitor.
My father used to buy all copies of newspapers, but for one or the other reason, he would go with his Red Pepper in his bedroom. So
maybe that's why it was needed.
So I don't know whether he didn't want me to read all the content. But yeah, now we all agree that we read most of our news on our phones. It goes without saying that there is a shift. More people are consuming. The digital transformation is real. I think in NMG we started talking about digital transformation about 5 or 6 years ago. We have been doing that, but not forgetting that there are conservatives who would be happy to sit on a Sunday or a Saturday, spread their legs and have their copy in their hands and read away a 2,000, 3,000 word story or an investigation or an analysis for deeper understanding. And probably that's the reason as to why the New York Times still lives up to today. That's why probably Daily Monitor still has space on the streets because of the traditionalists. Now, if they begin also waning in terms of consumption of this hard copy news, then you have a thing or two to think about the dynamics that they're in. You talk about the quality, and to be honest with you, I will tell you that we are endangered. So, about 1 week ago, a journalist was attacked on the streets of Kampala by the KCCA enforcers. And no, he was doing his job, recording and taking. There has been a lot of enforcements happening on the streets of Kampala. So this journalist is actually doing his job. So one blog, I don't know its name, comes up with a headline: KCCA officials beat NBS journalist to nearly death who filmed them while taking bribery from street workers. Someone threw it on our platform, and I looked at a would-be very good story just being killed with grammar. You know? So one, there are two things here. One, journalism has been impeded. But two, journalism has been killed by quality in the way you dispense journalism. So language is very key in communication. And if you don't choose the mode of language you're going to use, then you're going to kill everything. So for a person who is particular with language, you read that headline and I am not reading this story, certainly. And yet this story must be read. This story must be appreciated because of the impediment on journalism. But how is it being killed? Quality. And I thank God I have gone through NMG, because it's just luck that you get there. And there is a lot of gatekeeping. There is a lot of training. There is a lot of mentorship. And go to other media houses and you'll struggle to get these skills in terms of gatekeeping and whatever is coming through, it's just thrown. And for me, that's the biggest danger that media and journalism faces, that everyone is jumping onto the bandwagon of calling themselves journalists. Journalists who do not separate between media practitioners, people who use media spaces to do whatever, and journalism. Journalism is a noble calling, a noble career. But now it's being killed by people who just jump onto it without listening to all the ethical codes of conduct that we have.
Thank you.
Now, when you look and read that headline, you will say, journalism has died. And yet we are not looking at who is dispensing this kind of
blog, as you said, yes.
Yeah. So,
Joseph, you want to say something before we come
quickly,
back here, Susan?
Susan, if you hear what Derek is saying and what sort of all of us have been saying, really this is the burden of responsibility really for you, because you are at the helm of this, that every effort should really be pushed to the question of quality. But one thing which is also not being talked about is the question of terms and conditions of guys in the media. One of the many reasons why people leave is the pay. But of course, that may be around your level, plus. But something that we need to be able to talk about. Some journalists I've met are people whom you can't believe are actually surviving on their pay. And sometimes they're compelled to compromise their own quality and sometimes editorial positions. I used to write for the New African magazine. And when these guys were going through review, they narrowed in terms of the spaces, but the quality was not compromised. In any case, it was upped. I think it's a big challenge, but I thought Edgar also was right to refer to the Weekly Digest, which kept some of us then going until recently. I don't know really what the younger guys in literacy and journalism today look up to, but in any case, there is no reason why the new organization that is being now led by Susan cannot aim to beat the level for the rest.
The
Susan government would create an enabling environment in which that would happen, including financing and supporting those, but it would never interfere with the independence of journalism here.
Okay, thank you. I hope I remember everything that everyone has said. Like all of us are saying, we'll wait to see the standards, whether they will maintain the independent standards of covering what others cannot cover. But also, when you talk about...
I like that, covering what others
cannot cover or may
coming from an NRM person.
Yes, what others cannot cover. But, giving some coverage that the public needs. But the biggest challenge, when we talk about media, it's broad. But the biggest challenge we are all seeing about print media, let me go to print media, is, and Susan has talked about the quality of journalists and the editors, but also there is the issue, the evolution of digital media. Of course, you have those platforms, but because of the speed at which the news these days run, because of the digital, you find that the print sometimes is not catching up. By the time a story goes to bed, that's your language, and then it comes out to be played on the shelves of the streets. The news already on our phones. We've been able to pick it elsewhere. So the issue of this is a business. So the print media has started suffering. Because if I've read the news on my online platform, why would I buy a hard copy? It is the conservative, traditional guys that want to buy a hard copy and go and have.
She's pointing at me.
Sitting down, and because you're one of the writers, but even some of your articles now go on digital. So you find that there's that challenge of speed of the news. If I've read the news online, why would I buy a print copy? So there's also that challenge of the selling has reduced. The sellers. I mean, everyone. And it is not isolated to nation media. This is to all media houses that have a print component. I think they have that challenge. Leave alone the competencies of the quality of the writing skills of the journalists. There's also the issue of selling print media. That's what.
Bloodless, no violence.
An election in Africa.
Smooth, accepted.
An election in Africa that is bloodless.
Yes. We do it online, results are out that evening, and celebration next day, and we move.
Do you have biometric voter registration?
We have all of that, yeah.
And they are working?
Completely.
Maybe EC should benchmark with you.
I keep saying we should export our services. But Joseph, you're on the microphone.
I think you're joking, but if that's actually what you do at your school, maybe you should actually bring it as a topic. So we have a conversation and we save many of the public schools, many of the private schools.
Joseph, you will visit us when we have an election.
Not looking forward.
You are allowed one poster and you can draw any more that you wish, but
looking forward.
Very seamless.
And we would really, really save parents because this is a national crisis at the moment. But that said, on this topic, I think it's been said. Bottom line is governance. But I will just have to make 2-3 quick disclaimers. One, Edgar suggests that being a president gives you the entitlement to subject citizens to what Mr. Museveni is doing. I totally disagree. On the question of security, I will talk of experiences. One, I wrote actually, Susan, in my then Sunday column on David Cameron in 2 Range Rover cars traveling from Downing Street to the big court where he was to testify. At the time, it was a very heavily heated stuff for which they should really have had big security conscious question on their prime minister, serving prime minister. He went 2 Benzes. Of course, the media, as usual, followed him and it was live on television. Number 2, I've also written on your column that Tony Blair, once upon a time, crossed with me on Old Kent Road, going down Kent in 2 Range Rovers. This time granted against with police outriders. The guy waved at me, of course. Had an idea. That's a channel of that kind of stuff.
You wish.
But I'm making a point. And I was just going down the road at a supermarket.
But they've never had ADF. They've never had LRA.
Now I bring you. Now I bring.
This time it's okay. I live in Bujumbura. The president. I've shown you pictures of the convoy. 4 cars, and at most to your convenience when it's passing 5. Now 5. But we've had a rebellion just 20 kilometers away. From Bujumbura in Uvira.
In fact, the previous one used to play football as well.
Yes.
And so therefore the third one brings me back to home where you talk about rebellion. In 1985, shortly before July, it would have been possible about May, I was actually escorting my Mugisu girlfriend from down here, John Babiha, Akasha, down the road.
You also had them besides the others.
She was schoolmate. I was just trying to say to impress Lydia. No, but it's a fact. On Lower Kololo, Upper Kololo, 7 o'clock in the evening, 2 Mercedes-Benz cars pass me, and in a slow motion, who is it? Old Milton from down the road here. Old Milton going to his home in Impala Avenue. That is before dusk. Do you know what? At that time, the Museveni bandits were here throwing bombs up to Crested Towers, down. So what is this that we're talking about? So extraordinarily that this could happen, and what a convoy without another minister in that line of convoy would not have been more than 5 vehicles. And I know Paul Mwanga used to pass down here in his way to work. 3 vehicles at most. What is it that has actually happened today? It is impunity. It's completely unacceptable. And I think Susan was talking about the cost that was during break, or for how much, without going into too much details. That the amount of money we spend on these guys is so huge, side by side with our failure basically to maintain our roads. So these governance issues. By the way, I don't know that anybody has gone to Nigeria hospital as a patient, gone to Nigeria hospital as a patient and come out and voted for NRA. No, the issue is this. It's attitude, it's indiscipline, it's impunity, it's arrogance and violence.
Joseph knows that Nigeria is my village. and people who live at our home, they actually vote NRM in Nigeria.
In your home?
Yeah. In my judge's home.
No comment. But I think as Derek was saying, the day before yesterday, turns out actually near Nigeria, I saw a guy on a phone, and whoever that guy is shame on him. He was speaking on the phone and was pulled off by the police officers, and he just went on. Yeah. He just continued. He disregarded police officers at a junction here in Chiwatile. And I said, extraordinary, but that happens. And then, once upon a time, I was sort of pulled, I was a bit confused on Entebbe Road by the clock tower, by the new Rise Up stuff.
Yeah.
And a senior police officer this time noticed that I was actually quite confused. So he recognized me, calls me as a Mr. Ochieno, laughs at me and says people make mistakes all the time, and starts talking about people who make traffic errors. But the guy told me that, look, this border madness is a creation of us, people in politics. And then for them, they don't know what to do. I met Kajina.
Finish off.
I met Kajina just as she was leaving Yundra. Fantastic lady. She was doing a great job there. And in the course of the conversation, when you talk, you realize that some of these issues, are sort of helpless amidst the madness. And finally, to finish off, the other day, Nabanja was out on the road. Did you guys see that story? Nabanja on the road with my good friend Musa Echweru, and they're doing a bit of a Tanzanian late president stuff on the road. And they're saying, what these people are talking about, what Nabanja was talking about, which planet has she been living on? And where are the key officials? Where are the people who commissioned these guys? Who are the people who are responsible for compliance and monitoring? It's a broken system, and the sooner we're able to sort out these things, the better. But finally, it is about transportation, as my brother Edgar was talking about, planning Kampala. They've killed our trains, they've killed our public service buses, they've killed the broader planning, Greater Kampala planning. I told Susan's network once upon a time when we were just returning with Jimmy 20 years ago, and I think some people taunted me on KFM at the time that, look, an estate starts in Chira. Before it starts, you plan it, you put in the roads, you put in the water, you put in the electricity, and then it's however private it is, you have to do that. I've worked in local government. I've seen what's happening. It's a mess here. Only a future UPC government will sort out this mess.
You see,
sometimes Joseph Ochieno spoils a good argument.
Lydia needs to tell us if she will also be closing roads around Serena when she becomes speaker, like the current one does.
From Bugolovi to Parliament.
I've been with you here for so many years. Have I blocked you? Have I spoiled you? You mean I don't have any power now? I have some.
So, Lydia, true, reviews. Lydia,
the former CDF General David Muhoozi. I mean, very simple. Very simple. It could even appear in a place.
It still is.
I said former CDF. It's still simple.
It's still very simple.
It's still very heavy convoy.
Nothing.
The former IGP, Martin Okoth. Martin Okoth too. No, nothing like sirens. Yes, he had his convoy, but he would stop like everyone else. But then I think some fellow would get off the to give us clearance.
Lydia, in the last 10 minutes.
Let me first get there, then if the first gang, we come and talk about it. Don't just see. Let me first get there so that you can test properly.
Indeed, Lydia, we 10 minutes to the end of the show, and I want to ask a different question of you. Yes, we've discussed enough on this one, but Edgar. You hold on.
Just 1 second.
You put in there a second.
Okay.
But how far have you gone with expressing your interest to become the Right Honourable Speaker? With SEC putting out announcements every other day, have you given up and said,
before I have the chance to close roads?
So are you putting up your hands and saying, I concede?
Oscar, there are no contradictions that you have been seeing in the media.
Yeah.
The expression of interest is rule number 9. It's clear. It will terminate if the discussion happens in caucus. So from caucus, we shall come with candidates of the NRM to take to Parliament for elections. So I have put in my expression of interest. They can only take it in or reject it, and that will happen in the NRM caucus.
But haven't they rejected it by saying this is who we are?
Oh, nobody has rejected it because no one has, first of all, called me or have not received. I wrote formally. So nobody, well, Parliament, you can laugh, but Parliament is actually very legalistic in procedure. So I'm applying to an institution that is run through rules of procedure. What else do you want me to do? To go stampeding on the tables of the House? No. To go the media and start shouting? I will not. I'm going to follow the rules because the institution I'm applying to be deployed is run by rules of procedure. If it was about something else, maybe I would be playing another game. I'm just following that institution that I'm going to apply is purely about rules of procedure. And Parliament of Uganda lives its own life. The 12th Parliament will have its own life. It will have its own rules of procedure. It's run by rule of law. And that's what I want to do. So don't pull me to what I'm not want to do. If it wasn't a legalistic rule of procedure institution, I would be maybe dancing at a rally. Because you can also apply to be a mobilizer. So I'll be trying out strokes of I don't know who to, but I'm applying to run. Yes, and then I will go and deploy some extra bomb because I don't have this bomb for dancing. You see? So you see there are so many jobs in NRM. You see, Oscar, there are many NRM. There are so many jobs in NRM. There are those who are mobilizers. There are those who make the dress, the yellow thing. There are those who play the drums. I'm applying for that job. It's about procedures. It's about rule of law. It's about writing the laws of our country. So how do you expect me to play contrarily? I will not. But when we get to the caucus and I say, Lydia, you're not fit for the purpose, I will salute and sit down. But if they give it to me, I will take it, and for sure, I'll run Parliament the best way you want it to be.
I attended the Uganda College.
And Susan also went to Guyana. Somewhere, two of us today.
The world in which we're groomed and taught is
we're not fit for purpose.
The Ugandans moved past us. We are just
No, for now, the rules.
I also disagree. Edgar, as I told you, Joseph Otieno, ever optimistic, and Susan Sibira here has said optimistic. My job is to train youngsters, and I live with that hope, and I deliver.
For the global.
No, even for Uganda.
Even for Uganda.
That's what I do.
Let me tell you, Oscar, and the listeners. I'm going to make a compelling case for purpose of Speaker of the 12th Parliament. And I'll leave it to the caucus to decide. If they think I'm not fit for the purpose, I'll raise my hands, bow down to the candidate, and they go to vote for that candidate in the main house. But for now, I'm following the rules. And I think I am fit for purpose.
Caucus allow you to address it, considering that the top organ of the party has already come up with a decision.
But why are you reading that letter in part? Because they said there will be caucus, and that those who have a good case, you will be given chance to present. And I think I have a good case. So let me talk about traffic. No, for issue of speaker, for issue of speaker, when I come here next time, including Benjamin, who has many votes, please, you begin. Let help me start practicing decorum, practicing how to even treat people, practicing how to be tolerant.
Oscar,
considering the standards
I
that
think
have been,
credit to Lydia.
How not to use a lot of power because there is so much power. And
considering the standards
how
that have been
power-
set by the current
Hold on,
leadership of
Benjamin.
parliament,
Hold
you
on,
don't need a route of training.
Benjamin, hold on.
What raised that?
Thank you.
bar? So on issue of traffic,
yes.
Oscar, for me in Uganda, and I think, I don't know that I told it you or whatever. You see, it's interesting that Ugandans, the way we have been, it's like we're in a small port and we roll there. Because all of us wake up around 6 and now hit the traffic. Before 6 o'clock or before 5:30, roads have no people. But 6:30, everybody is on the street. Then we begin saying, traffic. Why don't you become a little clever and out of the norm?
No, the traffic, traffic
I'm
is
talking about
acceptable.
home. Then like hell would have it, even people who are constructing roads also appear on the roads in the morning. At night, there is no road construction. I don't know. Is it a policy issue that you cannot construct at night while the roads are a bit more free? Because we have been outside Uganda, there is a lot of construction of roads at night. But here, it is no comfort. 5, you all go home. Then you all wake up in the morning. And come and fight on the street.
Lydia,
So
I'm going to allow guys and girls to speak last.
The floods.
Yes.
Huh?
I'm going to allow guys and girls
like
to speak last. Let these people squeeze in a sentence.
The dry season, there's nothing. There's no talking about opening drainage, construction of drainage. But when now it's raining, then everybody is running to preempt floods. People are moving buckets and don't know what.
blaming one developer.
But yet we know very well.
Joseph,
as
what was your 1 minute? Lydia, hold on 1 minute. Joseph.
I think she made an emphasis that might easily get lost. She's simply saying that she's testing the system within NRM, and it's really good to have credit.
I'm just doing what's right.
In other words, she's trying to do what is right in a space in which she's doing a right thing in a space in which things are very, very wrong. And to your credit,
you wait for the outcome.
Linda, I thought I was crediting you that you.
I've switched off your microphone. Benjamin, your one sentence. Benjamin, your one sentence.
The new sentence is that Uganda needs a fresh start, a fresh government, that you cannot have well-managed traffic in a country that is poorly managed.
Okay. Derek, your one sentence. Benjamin managed to squeeze in 4 or 5.
Institutions. Yeah, of course. I've been speaking little. Institutional breakdown in the country is very real, very real. To the extent that if you find that traffic officers are thrown off their jobs and other institutions are coming in, I feel.
Edgar, 1 minute.
An introspection of the country.
Well, I'll say it in one sentence. Deal with impunity that has developed as a culture. And the rest will fall.
Well, they brought military police. They are dealing with impunity.
Deal with impunity.
So conclusions, Susan Sibira, we will have the guys and girls speak last, and Right Honorable Wanyoto will speak last on the capital gang.
Well,
I could have given them the other minute.
well, since in the initial discussion was about NMG, I'll just take the opportunity to thank our audiences, to thank our readers, to thank everybody who has an interest, and to really say thank you for your support through the years, and we promise to continue to deliver as to our policies. Thank you.
Usually we have the real gang at the back here, out of studio, where there are no cameras, no self-censorship, nothing. So prepare yourself for the questions that are coming in that session, because there will be real hard questions coming up. Things that have not been aired on this show. Even Tabarov had to raise them. But Lydia, last word on the Capital Gang as we wait for May.
The last word on the gang is that we need to improve more on issues. We should not lament so much. I think many things can be done about the traffic. if we sensitize people more, and maybe if the traffic can alert, these traffic diversion alerts can help. You imagine you driving, then you bump into a road construction diversion without knowing, at maybe at Luzira or at industrial area. Yeah, they should throw alerts, because with the social media and alerts, it's very easy to see an alert and you divert early. Part of the big traffic problems in the city is because there are no alerts on diversions, but also even if we are talking about the VVIP, those are entitled to travel where they have the right of way. Let me use that one. If there's a right of way, like for you, Oscar, there should be an alert to say in the next 2 hours, divert. It will make life easier for everybody.
I also don't know why those sirens people move in traffic time. They should leave us alone.
On school days, Oscar, because school days are also heavy, they should be able to, traffic should come into alert. On the opening day, I don't know, for some reason, Seta to Mukono, these are Lugazi. There are so many schools up to Namagunga there. On opening day, you don't go, but there should be even alert how parents can travel, diversion of roads, and they had a problem. This can be done, so that we stop these blind traffic congestion.
Thank you. I can tell you that we're going to have a bit of traffic on Entebbe Road and in our school because we have sports day, and parents have attended, so many of them have not listened to gang.
But take traffic to give.
So
was it another school up on the hill in Wevaja?
Taiba.
No, the other one on the hill.
There's
Standard, is it? Which
Taiba is one I know.
The one. That's Mr. Musoke. That's Mr. Samuel Musoke being himself.
Thank you.
This is the prime time. You can't give it to
I visited there today.
Thank you. Star Cafe for powering the gang. Thank you, Susan Sivira, for coming to gang. Yes, thank you, the rest of the gangsters, Madam, soon to be speaker. Thank you so much. Yes. Rough Cuts is next. Eid is next week. So I am Oscar Semoyam Soke, and I wish you a lovely weekend. I'll see you next week.